What's up, Danny Rarity here, and I hear ya. Stats aren't the whole story of what we're seeing on the ice, and these are the things stats can't measure that will lead the Buffalo Sabres to victory. Will Zach Benson become a target by the Montreal Canadiens in this series? I know I've been getting even a lot of comments about Zach Benson on my videos because I talk about him a lot because he makes a huge impact, undeniably. He was maybe the best or one of the top two best players on the ice in game one, and it's really having a crazy impact on every single game that he plays, especially when the top lines are being neutralized like they have been. So it's really a sense of not only does Zach Benson put up stats, but he does all the immeasurables. He gets in your face, he gets under your skin, he's clearing space in front of the net, he's just laughing, he's giggling, he's poking at you. He does all of the emotional warfare things correctly. I mean, really just like Brad Marchand. I've been making that comparison pretty much all year because I think this year he's always been pretty good, but I think this year he really kind of took it to another level, and especially in the playoffs, it's been unbelievable. So I think this kind of emotional warfare Zach Benson brings, especially when you're trying to pair this our middle six versus their middle six type thing, he is just an absolute difference maker. And the Habs aren't stupid. They probably realize this too, and to some effect, they're probably going to try to get back at him. I mean, I'm expecting people to try to aggravate him a bit more. Maybe, poke him, push him a little more, hit him down a couple times, all that stuff. Just try to get in his head, throw him off, because, I mean, it's pretty obvious he is an emotional driver of this Sabres team. So if the Canadiens can try to give that a little bit back to him, that might help slow down and kind of normalize this middle six battle that's been going on that the Sabres have been winning incredibly. Next thing I want to touch on is puck luck. That's something, I mean, people say you can measure it with stuff like expected goals for, blah, 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 blah. Puck luck is something that happens all over the ice pretty much at all times. So even stats like expected goals for, or, goals saved above, all those advanced metrics that measure like what would have happened, what could have happened. Puck luck is just something that happens in every single zone, almost at all times on a hockey rink. And the Habs, as I'm sure a lot of people noticed in that game one, Montreal Canadiens did not have very great puck luck. I mean, when it came to even, things like they missed probably, 2 or 3 wide open nets. They hit the post, probably 2 or 3 times. And then so a lot of these battles on the boards, little puck bounces along those boards, or even, getting hit and then the puck, flies off onto someone else's stick. It's little things like that, especially throughout this game, or even things like missing rebounds, barely missing passes, just all of these kind of little immeasurables throughout the game. It just did not seem normal at all, at least on an NHL level, for them to kind of miss that many opportunities. So I think there's a difference between losing that puck luck because you're a step behind, or because lower hockey IQ or any term like that, and then just plain being unlucky. I mean, especially when you have pucks hitting, the inside crook of the posts and still bouncing out, when you have the puck just barely bouncing over your stick as you go to swipe in a cross pass, when you have a wide open net and you just kind of maybe panic a little bit and shoot just wide. I think all factors like that are not normal and will be kind of normalized throughout the series. So as far as, I guess, expectations go, and preparation goes for the Buffalo Sabres, rather than something you can actually do immediately to affect it, you just got to tighten up. You got to prepare more, because you that you probably aren't going to get as many breaks as you did in this game. So just tighten up the corners. A couple places where you got more sloppy, and I know in that third period it was a really locked down third period, but we still let up 6 shots in that third period. We were giving their D-men a lot of space on the blue line to walk in, mainly in that first period, but things like that you just got to tighten up on, give them a little less space, block a little more shots, get a little more aggressive towards the end of the game if you have a lead, and just minimize the impact of their puck luck improving, if that makes sense. Just kind of normalize the playing field, because if it stays the same as last game was, but the Canadiens do get average or even, above average puck luck, then that game is completely different, and we might have been even going into overtime. So really, it's not about changing puck luck. It's more so about preparing for when puck luck normalizes. And I think that's something the Buffalo Sabres really have to do, and something stats cannot tell you. This last thing I want to touch on is something stats probably, I guess, technically could measure, but it'd be a lot of effort to kind of track it, especially in this game. One thing I noticed, even when I was kind of live recording my reaction, so I could edit it and post it for shorts and videos and stuff, I made the comment that you could noticeably tell the Sabres were forechecking and putting pressure when the Habs had the puck behind their own net. And in hockey, that's something that's not really normal to do, because I guess the back of the net is kind of considered a space where they can't really do anything from technically. They can have possession, they can walk back and forth, they might be able to do a wraparound, but the risk reward is just not there to actively pressure them from behind while they're behind the net, because there's really not much they can do other than pass or try and tuck it. So normally teams are just more likely to just let that player do whatever they want and then react to what decisions they make while they're behind the net. But I thought that was a really interesting decision by the Sabres to really attack that player behind the net. And then the Habs, they adapted. Either they adapted or that's almost what they wanted, because they started making really quick cross-crease passes. They would get behind the net, and as soon as a player would come to challenge them, they would immediately send that puck in front of the net. And that's something the Sabres really have to be careful of, because it almost caught us, probably 2, 3, 4 times in that last game. And again, puck luck was a factor in us not getting caught in that, but also just in general, that is way too close for comfort. I like the concept of attacking them behind the net if you have the intel that's something they love to do, is have possession behind the net. But you gotta figure out a solution where you aren't just completely leaving one to two people in front of the net, because especially late in that game when the Habs were really getting their opportunities, what you saw was as soon as those players went to pressure that Canadian player behind the net, they would dish it in front, and it's almost like either a winger or a D-man would drop in just slightly, so they would end up having 2 players in the slot. And I'm trying to do this without using any game visuals, so my video doesn't get visualized, or not visualized, limited or anything like that. But they would always they kind of figured it out and adapted, where if they cheat an extra player towards that slot, they would then have 2 players in front of the net for one of these passes to take. And they did that a couple times throughout the game, and I definitely noticed, and that's something we have to figure out, or else they will just destroy us from in front of the net and get ahead, kind of like we did early in the game, in almost the same exact way. But for them, it's more so about reacting to the pressure rather than us kind of enacting our own system, our own pressure, if that makes any sense to you. Their reaction and their adaptation was really good, and it's something that could definitely be a factor in the rest of the series. So keep your eye out. But those are going to be my main immeasurables for the rest of the series, even Game 2 coming up later today. If you like it, subscribe, share, help me, be my friend, love me. I love you. Have a good day.